Hello fellow adventurers. On this video I'm just going to touch on why carp fishing and why mountain biking. Like all obsessions, you know, it stems from an early age. Growing up in the middle of a town, my parents used to take us when we were young out hiking and walking a lot, so just the being out in nature in the great outdoors, it was a big part of my life growing up. The earliest, well, not memory, but picture of me fishing was with my great uncle Alan. I've got a picture there. I'm sat on his knee while he's fishing, and I must have only been about 3-year-old. Moving on from that, probably looking around 8. We were having a walk down the river, my brother and my dad, and there was 2 lads fishing on the river, and obviously we'd stopped to watch them, and one of them asked if I wanted to have a go. So I said, yeah, alright, and he cast out, put the rod in my hand. I had no idea where the float was or anything, so I stood there holding this rod, and he's like, oh, you've got a bite now, lift the rod, lift the rod. So I did, and then anyway, I caught my first fish that I remember, and it was a perch, and that was it then. That was the primeval hunting instinct in me that kicked in, and you know, and it just driven me. And I think that day we ended up going to the shop and just going to buy a little, I think it was Argos then, little blue rod. Don't know if you remember them, I don't know if they still do them or not. Anyway, it was a little 6 foot maybe, little blue rod. You got like a little kit with it, and it just started from then. You know, we were down after school pretty much every day because we were right near the river, and we were just fishing. So I suppose I cut my teeth really on the rivers, and it wasn't until a few years later that we visited a complex of lakes at Catterick complex. Then it was owned by Leeds Angling Club, so we joined that. I fished the Match Lake to start with, and that's where I caught my first carp. Only a little thing, I mean, it's probably only half a pound, but it's the first time I'd seen a carp, and it was absolutely magnificent. And the fight that I had off that, you know, just on my little whip, it was amazing, and that was me hooked then for carp. And obviously being on the complex, you had the bigger lakes that, you know, the lads bivvied up on, and big rods out on pods and etc. And I just thought, yeah, I want to do a bit of that. So for Christmas and birthdays I started asking for carp kit. So round about being 10 or 11, I was pretty much becoming a fully fledged carp angler, and did it all through my school life, and even after school when I was in my apprenticeship, and I was going fishing all the time. It wasn't until maybe 2007 I started to slow off on my fishing. You know, it sort of slowly started to die down. You know, like everyone, you know, you grow up a little bit, and I didn't start fishing again only until recently. So I had probably a 10-year gap, maybe more, of me fishing that I just stopped. Like I say, this season, I've got back into it massively, really keen and enjoying it. So that's probably about fishing done. So moving on from that, the mountain biking side of things. The mountain biking, as much as I loved being out on a bike when I was a kid as well, I didn't really think anything of it as a child. You know, it wasn't really something I was mega keen to get into. You know, I did enjoy ripping up and down hills and that. My brother was into it a little bit more than I was, but yeah, I think biking would have came about when I was working away in Germany in 2015, and I was working away with 2 of my pals, and one of them was mega keen into biking, and he ended up going home back to England, picking his bike up and brought it back out to Germany. And you know, I quite like the thought of it. So I bought a bike in Germany, and we ended up just going out and about, finding what we could and exploring, and yeah, I really took to it then, and I ended up getting the bug for that. So after working in Germany, we came back to England. I ended up upgrading the bike to a full suspension. It was only a little Merida 120. It was just a little trail bike, really, just to get me started on. And I entered a couple of fun races, and it was a load of fun. It was a good blast. Absolutely terrible, you know. I didn't come last, which is a good thing, but yeah, yeah, it just opened up a new world to me, you know. And again, it's, you know, it's been in the outdoors. So perfect location being here in the northeast for mountain biking. You know, we've got Hamsterley, Gisborough, loads of stuff to sink your teeth into. So I found my way on the bike, I got better at it, and we started just travelling the country. You know, I do bike park Wales often, Forest of Dean, Antnor Stiniog, even down to forgotten the name of the place, but it'll come back to me. It's off the one at Longleat. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, I've done all sorts, biking over in Scotland, you name it. I've been on a bike. So obviously by this point I had a big enduro bike, and got a lot of other friends interested in biking as well. Ended up having a trip to France, to Morzine. Really enjoyed it. I think that took probably 4 years of my life up, just mountain biking, before I obviously got back into the fishing. So yeah, really had a good time on that. There'll be loads of footage that I'll dig out and get put on the channel. So yeah, that's pretty much how everything came about. So I'll sign off there. Again, thanks for your viewership. Catch up with you soon.